Right folks, I watched RT News tonight, and the only reason it's come to light is a member of the public spotted a convoy of military and police vehicles. The military vehicles, the bigger semis, were carrying live nuclear warheads all the way up Scotland way, which is where the nuclear subs are, the Trident submarines. So all of a sudden are they transporting live nuclear weapons 900 miles up into Scotland from the southeast. They're trying to say on RT News tonight, every so often they're kept in one place and maintained in another place. What a load of bollocks. I'll now attempt to show you a video of the British Army nuclear warheads being transported down the M6. Here we go. Right? Must have been transported down the M6. There's your fire lorry. Police bike. There. MID lorry. Another MOD. This one here will be one of the ones with the nuclear warheads in. There. That's another one there, you see. There. I'll try and find the others. There's some more on here. Nuclear warheads being transported through our country on the roads. There you go. That is your nuclear warhead convoy. That lorry's there in case it breaks down. And it's got nukes in that lorry. Command and control. Police. Fire. In case there's an accident. Nuclear warhead specialist team. There's another lorry there carrying nukes. Where my arrow is. It only takes the terrorists to find out what's going on the route they're going. They target that and get that to blow up. You can see it's just canvas. Cut through that with a knife and get to it. Also tonight, I watched RT News, which I recorded. They've just recently done it again, and they have been having accidents whilst transporting the nuclear warheads through our country. So if I will try and find the footage for you. Here we go, that's one of them.
Accused of a callous disregard for public safety. In its turn, though, the Ministry of Defence says that the risks created by these convoys are, and I quote, tolerable.
That was tonight's news on RT.
Strategic need to move nuclear weapons.
RT UK, that was.
Joining me now for more on this is SNP MP for Midlothian, Owen Thompson. Evening, you've already tried to ban this in Parliament earlier this year, but you failed.
Yeah, we tried to propose what started off as a 10-minute rule bill to ban the movement of nuclear material by roads in the UK. Sadly, it ran out of parliamentary time, So rather than being voted down by the Parliament...
Nuclear warheads been moved all around our country on the roads.
How much do you really know about what's being transported? Are we talking about live nuclear warheads?
I think the biggest problem we have is the secrecy.
Here we go, he won't answer the question.
I can report that there's clearly a...
He was asked then...
taking place. I've written to them.
He was asked then, are they carrying live nuclear warheads? And his answer was, well, the biggest thing is secrecy here. So he was all about secrecy. He did not answer the question, are they live nuclear warheads? More cover-up.
The last year to ask about safety aspects in the transportation, but I was told that they had an unblemished safety record over the last 50 years. So we don't actually know exactly what is being moved.
Perhaps it's a good idea we don't, because surely these things should be carried out secretly, and wouldn't it be better if the British public didn't know about this sort of thing, or indeed people, perhaps even terrorist organisations, start to get to know about it?
I think we're living in a world now where social media is such a feature that it's impossible to hide a 40-vehicle convoy passing through what are sometimes small communities across the country. So to try and suggest that these things can be made invisible, I think is impossible, which would lead me on to say that the MOD actually should be far more open and transparent about what they are doing, because then they could actually get the...
These are the lorries with the live nuclear warheads being transported down our country, down all around our streets.
Nuclear weapons altogether, but if we can at least in the first instance stop the movement of them through our towns and our communities, passing our schools and hospitals, then that has to be a first step.
Why are they being moved?
From what we can tell, essentially they're stored in one location but maintained in another, and the MOD say that has to require...
More bullshit. Stored in one location and have to travel 900 miles for maintenance. Considering they're heading towards Scotland where the Trident submarines are. We wouldn't store them in the southeast and have them maintained in Scotland. So if you have your car stored in your garage at home, you got to travel 900 miles to get it maintained? I don't think so.
This 900 or so mile round trip every so often, and because maintenance has to happen more and more, these trips are far more frequent than they ever used to be.
So it started off there.
Rather than not have nuclear weapons at all, but for example what we're seeing there in Scotland with the nuclear base, isn't it very important for the economy and also for national security? These considerations have to be taken into account rather than just blankly saying we don't need them.
So that was one news clip about it. This is another one. We've got another one here somewhere. Here we go.
About the fact that the number of incidents seems to be on the rise. We've seen about 180 safety incidents from 2000 to 2016, and that is only the ones that the MOD are happy to tell us about. And as you have seen in the report,
it's about nuclear weapons being transported by road around the UK.
Being emitted from the lorry. So
here we go. Here's a convoy.
But it's something that will hopefully through this report we're actually able to raise awareness of.
Those red lines are the routes that they take.
To the public about, and then they can make their own minds up about whether or not they think it's safe to have nuclear weapons transported on our roads. We're certainly opening ourselves up to potential problems if you're driving nuclear weapons around on our roads, and I think the message from that for us is that there's an idea that nuclear weapons keep us safe. Our argument is that quite the opposite. Having them on our soil is a danger. Not only could there be an accident involving these convoys, but as you rightly say, if there was an attack on them and a deliberate attempt to detonate them, that obviously the results would be horrendous. They'd be disastrous.
I'll be joined for more reaction to this just after 9 o'clock.
Well, there you go. Nuclear weapons been transported around our country willy-nilly. Live nuclear weapons, I should say. As the bloke just said there, the terrorists found out about it and managed to attack it and set one of them off, well, that would be the end of half of England. If one of them had nuclear material leak out of it, radiation will spread. So they're deliberately putting the civilian population at risk. Either scenario, radiation leak, terrorist attack, you would die. It would kill you. You'll either be killed instantly or slowly die from radiation poisoning. And they reckon that's a risk worth taking, putting the public at that much risk. Don't think so. Be safe.